We now come to our last junior road tax race. That will be 11 minutes in duration plus an additional lap. And here is their final starting order of the weekend. Starting on pole position will be the number 226 of Nikita Genza, and alongside will be the number 210 of Moritz Schmeiß. Valentin Klus in the 201 will have the number 217 of Rafael Balzer alongside, with Mikkel Pedersen from Denmark and Rafael Renhofer in the 252 and the 233 respectively, lining up on row 3. Magnus Pedersen in the 247 and the 245 of Farin Mega will complete the top 4 rows, and rounding out the top 10 will be Leon Arndt in the 208 and the 236 of Neville Fischer. Kian Agasad in the 261, the 241, the 262, the 241 of Corbin Hillebrands, the 228 of Louis Jacobs, the 219 of Din Jurich, and Janis Diak and Richard Thomas in the 238 and the 205 complete the 16-strong grid. So the drivers now on the latter part of the formation lap. Red lights are ignited on the start gantry just past the start finish line. It will be down to Nikita Genza and Moritz Schmeiß to control the pace for the rolling start formation, as they will now go into side-by-side formation ahead of 11 minutes plus an additional lap. Pace will now start to increase as they come round the final corner. They split, go into the tram lines. The revs rise for the final time in junior road tax. Lights are out, we get away and racing. As up the inside of Moritz Schmeiß goes Valentin Klus. As Nikita Genza runs very wide, and it's side by side between Schmeiß and also Klus going through into the first main corner. Genza down into 4th place as everyone's trying to jockey for position. But one driver trying to go a bit brazenly around the outside just behind Farin Mega as Rafael Balzer drops down a few places as 3 abreast coming out of the chicane. And some of those drivers include the 262 of Kian Agasade in the mix of all of that, as the leaders now make their way through the last chicane before they head towards the final double right-hander. As we've had now, I'm just seeing that there's one driver that's dropped quite a few positions, probably 2 to 3 as I count, as they come to complete lap number 1. Schmeiß leads, Klus in second. Mikkel and Magnus Pedersen complete the top 4, as it looks like that Farin Mega now trying to fight back against Magnus Pedersen, as the 245 looks towards the inside, can't get through as the Dane closes the door. Kian Agasade and Nikita Genza round out the top 7 positions as it's side by side between Magnus Pedersen and also Farin Mega for position, but up the inside tries to go Kian Agasade on the 245, with Nikita Genza just behind. And we had a time penalty issued for 2 wheels out of the tram lines. It is Corbin Hillebrands in 11th position in the 241 that has been handed that penalty. But the top 3 being led by Moritz Schmeiß, Valentin Klus in second place, with Mikkel Pedersen rounding out the top 3. They come across the line to complete lap number 2, covered by just over a second. as Kian Agassade ahead of Farin Mega, as Rafael Balza now just behind Rafael Renhofer. And that's the battle for 9th place, as it's nearly side by side between Kobe Hillebrands and Leo Arndt. A little bit further down the order for 12th position. So running order at the moment, it is Maurice Schmeis that leads. Valentin Klus in second. They've now started to break away the top two from Mikkel Pedersen in third place, Magnus Pedersen in fourth, Kian Agassade now all the way up to 5th place past Farin Mega, Nikita Genza in 7th, Nevio Fischer in 8th, Rafael Renhofer and Rafael Balza round out the top 10 positions. As now Farin Mega getting closer and closer to Nikita Genza, as Valentin Klus was just over 0.2 of a second behind Maurice Schmeis for the lead. And a good run coming out of the start-finish straight onto the first couple of corners. Goes Farin Mega, trying to go up the inside of Kian Agassade, but loses a bit of traction, putting the power down through the corner. The 245 from Kashmir.de goes up the inside of the 262 on the very next turn. Gets a bit sideways. Agassade trying to go through, but Mega manages to hold on. So Mega now up into 5th place. Richard Thomas in 14th, Lewis Jacobs in 15th, and Din Hurich round out the 16, as they are still all circulating on the track. Just under 7 minutes remaining, plus an additional lap. As Schmeis comes round the final corner, leading the way, just ahead of Valentin Klus, who again is getting closer and closer on each lap. Klus looking towards the inside, decides better of it, as they blast their way down the main straightaway. So Corbin Hillebrands was trying to battle away with Richard Thomas, who actually got ahead for 13th position. Fastest lap of the race at the moment is the driver in 5th place with a 1 minute 1.17 for Farin Mega in the 2:45, and was just over 0.6 behind Magnus Pedersen on the last lap. Out of the top three, the quickest of them is the driver in 3rd place, Mikkel Pedersen from Denmark in the 2:52, as we'll fast approach the completion of lap number 5. Schmeis takes a quick glance over the right-hand shoulder. Valentin Klus now looking closer and closer. Dry line starting to show on the circuit. 5.5 minutes still remaining. As again, Valentin Klus looks to the inside of Maurice Schmeis through the main infield section. So the battle between 9th and 11th position, which is led by Rafael Renhofer, then Rafael Balza in the 2:17, and then Leon Arndt, last time around, was covered by just over 1.1 seconds. As now, there has been a change for 4th, and that means that Farin Mega is getting faster and has set the fastest lap of the race last time around. And Farin Mega has gone sub 60 seconds and is now up into 3rd place as the Pedersens start to battle for 4th. The pair were nearly side by side coming out of the next corner as Mega centred up the inside. And now the battle for the lead is changing hands as, Valentin Klus came out of the chicane there, clattering into the curbs and nearly unsettled the back of the 201. So Schmeis now back in front, but Farin Mega, who's apart from Din Hurich, is the only other driver that has gone sub 60 seconds and is getting quicker and quicker as the laps proceed. The dry line really starting to evolve as the Pedersens still battling away in 4th and 5th place. as Mega goes for second and gets it cleanly through the apex of the final corner, and now goes towards the outside of Maurice Schmeiss to try and get the cut back through to the very next turn. Mega's going to try and push with 3.5 minutes remaining, going towards the inside line. Maurice Schmeiss looks to the left, sees that Mega is there, and Mega pounces and goes up the inside, now to take the lead. And the battle of the Pedersens, it is Mikkel ahead of Magnus, 4th and 5th respectively. And with the top 5 covered by just over 1.7 seconds before Farin Mega went for the lead and got it after a couple of corners. So several drivers now going into the sub 60 second bracket, which includes Nikita Genza, who's currently 7th, 1.1 seconds behind Kian Agassade, as Mega crosses the line to start lap number 9 and puts in a 59.173 on lap number 8. Pulls a gap of about 1.1 seconds over Maurice Schmeiss, but Schmeiss looking to get closer into the next corner. Mega tries to go for a defensive inside line. Schmeiss trying to use the momentum of the kart to try and close up. And then Valentin Kluss, in the meantime, has been passed by Mikkel Pedersen in the 2:47. So as the temperatures start to increase, the dry line starting to show on the track, will be the one that's measured the way on how the tyres are evolving and how they're degrading. As up the inside went Kian Agassade on Mikkel Pedersen, but then lost out the position straight away. So these drivers now have just over 90 seconds to go, plus an additional lap, as Valentin Kluss back into 3rd place. This time Magnus Pedersen is in 4th and goes back up the inside, but Valentin Kluss sees the door well and truly wide open. The pair nearly side by side through the chicane. Kluss manages to go to the right-hand side, but can't slingshot past. And Mikkel Pedersen is just behind these two. Nikita Genza in 6th, Kian Agassade in 7th, ahead of Nevio Fischer, Rafael Renhofer and Rafael Balzer. Well, it looks like that has changed because Balzer is up ahead of the 2:33, it looks like. So Farin Mega now goes on to the penultimate race lap of the weekend and has put in a 58.1. Schmeiss a 59.9, and the gap now 3.2 seconds between 1st and 2nd position. As a little bit further down the order, looks like there has been a change, and that is for Nikita Genza getting past the 2:52 of Magnus Pedersen, who goes up the inside. Oh, has a little bit of a clash with the 2:26, and that allows Kian Agassade in the 2:62 to now get up into 5th position. So Farin Mega now coming up to the penultimate right-hander, still leading, and the gap now will possibly be further extended as Nikita Genza trying to go towards the outside of the 2:52 of Mikkel Pedersen. Pedersen takes the inside line through the penultimate corner as we are now on the final lap. Valentin Kluss trying to go for 3rd in the dying stages, as now Nikita Genza manages to get past round the outside before the corner on Mikkel Pedersen, as Farin Mega now heads to the last part of the circuit. Gap between 1st and 2nd, which is Farin Mega from Maurice Schmeiss, was 5.5 seconds, as the 2:45 now will negotiate 2 more right-handers, and the checkered flag now being prepared. And winning the final race of the weekend in Junior Rotax, it is the 2:45 of Farin Mega. Second now comes Maurice Schmeis in the 2:10. Magnus Pedersen holds on to third, just fractionally ahead of Valentin Klus. Kian Agassade and Nikita Genza take fifth and sixth respectively, ahead of Mikkel Pedersen, who would round out the top 7 positions. Rafael Balza, who started on the second row, will take an 8th place finish ahead of Din Jurich. Janis Diak rounds out the top 10 ahead of Nevio Fischer in the 2:36. Rafael Renhofer completes the top 12 ahead of Leon Arndt. Richard Thomas comes across the line in 14th place. As the 2:28 of Lewis Jacobs and then the 2:41 of Corbin Hilbrands shows that the full 16 driver contingent of Junior Rotax finishes after 12 laps, with Farin Mega taking a win in the final race of the weekend.